Hello, I'm Joe Testa. We live in a dishonest society. Therefore, our thinking is seriously flawed because we lack the truth. This system continually degrades our democracy. We must mandate disclosure and transparency in all government operations and identify the problem in public information. No disclosure, no democracy. There are four main frauds to address. Since the first has to do with national security and the military, I need to preface with some personal information. The first part of my name, Joseph Bruce, I share with my great-uncle, my mother's family, coming to America from Scotland. He was in the U.S. Army, and he died in the fields of France in World War I. My last name, Testa, is from my father, Louis. His father coming to America from Italy. My father, a World War II disabled veteran, eventually died in the Veterans Hospital in Miami from medical malpractice. His brother Vincent was career Army, and his son, my cousin Jack, was in the Navy. My mother's brother, Paul Brink, served with the Marines in the Pacific in World War II. My older brother, Louis, served in the Army in Vietnam. He was decorated, and he died a few years ago, in part from exposure to chemical Agent Orange. My family fought for national security in the form of truth, freedom, democracy, and justice. They believed in leaders who exhibited these principles. They believed that national security was ultimately secured by free speech, free press, disclosure, and transparency. They did not fight for lies, secrecy, hypocrisy, turmoil, confusion. Those things impair national security. They believed that government officials and military officers who were not honest were traitors. Therefore, the first fraud to discuss, perhaps the biggest fraud, is the government lying and hiding information on UFOs or UAPs, whatever you want to call them. This would be one of the greatest discoveries in human history, and the knowledge would be tremendous. It could solve many of our problems. For decades, the government and the military have been hiding this information. This fraud is so important beyond science because it created an anti-democracy arrogance. The excuse of national security was really the self-protection of power and paycheck by officials with this attitude. The reality is that this anti-democracy fraud has endangered our national security. As example, the well-documented Phoenix Lights could have been a tremendous initiation to a huge discovery for the benefit of the world. Instead, then Governor Symington, who later admitted seeing the lights, lied and in full anti-democracy arrogance, insulted and ridiculed the very citizens who elected him and were paying his salary. It's taxation without representation. Also, as usual, there are people with this inside information making money by investing with this inside information. Overall, the resolution of this fraud beyond science will hopefully lead to the diminishment of other anti-democracy frauds that have grown over the years. The second fraud is artificial intelligence. AI is simply a reflection of the information of a society. Therefore, when the society is dishonest, the information will not be accurate. Truth does not flourish in this AI environment. Although it is of great value for business transactions, important information is always missing. The suppression of free speech and free press will perpetrate the fraud. It will damage our democracy. AI will always be corrupted. The third fraud is fiat currency. The dollar has no intrinsic value. It is essentially a promissory note, a loan issued by the government. To exist, it has to have a large segment of citizens believing in it and each other and willing to put forth the effort to honor our commitment to the loan, primarily by paying taxes in agreement with our national policies and practices. Disagreement within a society is often a cause for the decline of fiat currency. Cryptocurrency is an example of this. By the way, cryptocurrency looks like fiat currency. Inflation is another cause of devaluation. The President, Congress, Secretary of the Treasury, the Federal Reserve should all be educating the public as to the function and history of fiat currency. Instead, the lack of the disclosure of the risks of fiat currency will continually degrade our economy, and especially the credit markets, which control everything. If you do not understand this risk, then your financial plan and investment strategy are worthless. The fourth fraud was initiated by the Supreme Court. In 2010, the court ruled in a case quite hypocritically named Citizens United. The court intentionally expanded the power of the aristocracy by giving corporations to fund large donations for political purposes, essentially granting them super citizenship. It's like giving them extra votes. It gave rise to the super PACs, political entities that exert tremendous power and influence. This power, combined with Internal Revenue Code, Section 501c4, allows much of this activity to operate in secret. It is part of the dark money network. This is the basis for election fraud, far more than mail-in ballots. The cause of much of the fraud in America has been weak leadership. They hide and manipulate the truth. Strong leaders have the moral courage to lead with the truth. Until we get that kind of leadership, we will continue thinking without the truth. Thank you. For more information, you can read my book, Investment Dilemma. You can also read my website, reasonatrisk.com. reasonatrisk.com, and you can watch my other videos here on YouTube, Testa Talks. Thank you. I'm Joe Testa.